Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. In this video I'm going to have a little bit of a discussion with you about the mistreatment of your vices out there. Now this is a Rant video. I do these from time to time. If this isn't your thing, there's a lot of great tutorial videos out there on the channel that you can go watch, but I still hope that you'll find this information informative and somewhat helpful. So I see this all the time. It's getting perpetuated out there more and more. I see people taking and doing this one main thing that really kills vices all the time. Now, you've all had it. I've had it. We've all had the same problem. You lock something down in the vise, right? And then you go to hammer on it, and the thing slips down between the jaws of the vise, right? You need to upset this piece. You need to hold it in a controlled manner. And so it's slipping, right? It's getting marred up on the backside. You're trying to do something to prevent that. What does most people do? Well, the thing that I hate to see the most and that kills vices out there everywhere is some guy putting his foot on that handle and cranking it down with his foot or all of his bodily pressure that he can take and put on a vice. This does not, contrary to popular belief, get the vise any tighter. And here's the reason why. A vise has threads in it. It has screws. It has an Acme thread in it. A lot of them do. Some of them have a rounded off kind of Acme thread to them. Some of them don't even have an Acme thread. They have more of your standard machine screw thread to them. And all that you are doing when you are taking and cranking that vise tighter and tighter, you're stripping those threads. You're pushing those threads over, and eventually it's going to turn over on you. And when you've done that, you've lost the vise. You've lost the screws. They have to be remachined, or they have to be touched up with a file, or maybe you've even lost the nut entirely as well, and now you're really in a real big pickle. A lot of really old vices that would have been really good for people to enjoy for centuries from now have been ruined by somebody putting their foot on here and standing on the arms of these vices. Now, I challenge you to go to any blacksmithing show where you got a big group get together, and you will see countless dozen vices where the barbell here, the arm, the tightening portion of this is bent and all goofy like. Well, what's the cause of that? Well, that comes from somebody using a cheater pipe. Maybe they can't get their leg up that high anymore, but they can throw on a big old 8-foot long cheater pipe and just really crank that vise. Again, it is doing the same exact thing as in their previous example, where you are putting too much force on the threads and you're going to end up stripping it out. Some of the really earlier examples of vices out there, they even had brazed on threads. So that means they took a bar, they wound it around, and they brazed it to the actual screw itself. Okay, and so this right here, really standing on these and cranking on these, will shear off that braze, and then you'll end up with a worthless vise in the long run. Again, think about it a little bit. You're taking a piece of American or German or English or wherever you're at in the world, wherever that vise is made, you're taking a piece of 200-year-old plus history and destroying it by ignorance of not knowing how to use a vise properly. So how do we fix this problem of this thing slipping down through here? You could do it one of two ways. The first and easiest option is to turn your bar sideways. Now you say, but Roy, now you're going to put all this side pressure on this. Yes, but all it can do, the worst thing it can do, is twist in its mount. You're not going to strip the screw threads or potentially break the vise itself. Now you can hammer on this, and because now that there's a larger surface area of contact here, it will not slide on you as much. One of the other things you can do is, say if this bar is semi-long enough for it, and you need to jump it up, put it in the vise, but put something, a bucking block underneath it. Something underneath it to stop it from scooching down. That's one of the other options there. You see guys doing it all the time. It's a learned behavior. You think, hey, if one crank on that's pretty tight, 5 more full revolutions is tight on that, and it's really not. What you're doing is you're stripping the threads, you're putting uneven wear and tear on those threads, and that's just going to end up creating issues later on down the road when somebody wants to go and use that vise. So as a final note, if you see somebody and they're selling a vise and it's got a barbell in it and it's bent in a U, don't buy the vise. Chances are those threads aren't no good. It's going to have a lot of play in it, a lot of slop. You're not going to get a very nice vise out of the deal. Now, can they be refurbished? Yeah, but as prices are right now, a lot of people want to take and charge you $400 or $200 or $300 for a vise, and you're getting stripped threads because some guy wants to take and stand on it with all of his weight and his 3 kids and his grandma and his uncle next door. So, you know, don't do that. Don't do it to your vises. It is a stupid way. The vise is not getting any tighter. The only thing you're doing is you're bending things, and you're going to mess up your vise in the long run. Now, hopefully that doesn't sound like I'm too yelling at you or shouty. I'm standing really far away from the camera so I can get my whole body in shot. So again, this isn't me being angry at you. I have to project my voice, and I'm a little under the weather and stuff, so I have to project my voice over across the shop so the microphone can pick me up. Hopefully that's okay and it comes out alright after the recording of this video. But again, do not stand on these. These aren't a place for you to stand on, crank any tighter. Use your hands, standard hand pressure. Once it's gripped, give it a good crank down to where the bar is now vertical again on it, and leave it at that. If it can't hold it that way, you need to find a different method, because that's just not what a vise or a leg vise or a machinist vise was meant to do. It's not a hydraulic press there, folks. So that's it for today. Without further ado, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to get back to smithing. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to leave a like and a comment what you thought down below. And if you'd like to support videos like this and more, be sure to check out our website over at blacksmithpdfs.com. We would love to take and have you over there and check out some of our fine power hammer plans and or ebook bundles that we have available around the subject of blacksmithing. Anyways, that's it. God bless. We'll talk to you on the next one.